Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about Python. So from today, we are going to start a series tutorial for the Python. And here, I'm going to install Python at first. So to install a Python, just go to the browser, then search Python. And here you can see the first link, go to the downloads. And here in the downloads, if you hover on it, downloads, and then you will find this. So click on here, Python 3.1, 3.3. Here you can see it start downloading. And we need an ID also. We have PyCharm, and this is the pink. So just go here, and here you can see the only the only Python ID you need. So just go for the download, and here you can see Python Charm. This is the paid version, and we have a free version, and that is PyCharm Community Edition. So we'll go with it, okay? And we'll just click on here, and it will actually start downloading. Let's just install the Python at first. So I'll click on it, and I will install it. And here we just have to check here, okay? Add python.exe to path. So we just have to check it and then install now. So you can see the path is given here, so you can actually go for the customized installation, but for me actually I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to install it in the default drive. Okay, so I will click on install, and here you can see installing. Okay, setup was successful. Now you can just close it, and just we have to wait for the download of PyCharm. Okay, so you can see it's the download is complete now. Now we can actually click here, so it will start down installing. Okay. Okay, just have to select the yes, and then we have to select next, and destination folder will be C drive, no problem. But if you want to change, you can actually change. Okay, so next, and I want to actually create a desktop shortcut, so I will select it and then next and install. So now it's installing. Okay, so installation is done. Now click on finish. Now let's open the PyCharm community, and here I'm going to double click on it. You can actually do Python coding on Visual Studio Code also. What you have to do, you just have to install the Visual Studio Code, and you just have to go to the extension here, and you just have to download the Python extension. So this one, okay, but I will use this ID. Okay, so I'll say skip this, okay, and project. So I'm going to select here a new project, and here you can see the project location. So you can actually change the project location also, and here I'm going to change it. I'm going to go to the documents, okay, and I'm going to say here Python, select folder. All right, and that's it. Now create. Now let's say I want to create okay, allow access, no problem. Now I'm going to create here a new file, and I will select on file here, and let's create a new file. Okay, and the file name, let's say I want to select that first. Okay, first dot, you have to use extension .py for the Python, and you just have to press enter, and it will create your first Python file. Now let's say I want to run my first code, so I will say print, and I will say here the double quotation, and I'm going to say here subscribe to Web Technologies. And to run this, you just have to click here, and we have a shortcut for this, shift plus F10. So let me type it, shift plus F10, and here you can see it's in the terminal. We can actually see the output, right? So subscribe to Web Technologies. All right, so this is our first code, and we have installed it successfully, right? Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can comment out something in Python. So sometimes we need comment, right? Because let's say here you can see in the first .py, I mean our first Python file, let's say I want to write here something to remember something, that okay, I need to do it, or if someone actually see my coding, they can actually understand that what I'm doing here, right? So for this reason, actually we need to write comment. So how can you write comment in Python? So I'm going to create a new file for it. So here I'm going to create a new file. So I'll select on file, and let's name it comment.py. So now let's say I want to print something, and here I'm going to say that okay, I know how to comment out something. And if I run the code, you can see this is the output. Okay, but let's say I need a comment. So to comment something or comment out something, you just have to use hash, and then this is the way you can comment out, comment in Python. All right, now execute it. Let's remove it at first. I'm going to run it once again, and here you can see, oh yeah, I know how to comment out something, but this the text is not showing here. All right, so this is how actually you can comment out something in Python. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about variables in Python. So here I'm going to create a new file. So I'll click on the plus icon here and then select on file, and let's name it variables dot, the extension is py. Okay, py. So in Python actually we don't need to mention or declare the type, I mean the variable type. So here I'm going to say at first, let's say integer. Let's say I want to set a variable, let's say number, and I can actually give here, let's say 10. So I will say here that printf, okay, print, and here I'm going to say the number. Okay, now if I run the code, you can see the number is 10. So now let's say I want to go for the string. So I will say string. Okay, and here I'm going to say, let's say name, and if I say here like this, not really, here like this, let's say webtech knowledge, and let's say I want to print it. I will say print and say name, and if I run it, you can see webtech knowledge. So now the type is string, so you don't need to declare anything. Okay, let's say I want to print the name variable like this. So what will happen, let's see, and here you can see I'm getting the name but not the name value. Why? Because now it will work because of the double quotation. Okay, we cannot actually print the value. So if you want to print the value inside double quotation, you have to use f then double quotation, and here you just have to say the name is the channel name is, and you have to use curly braces, and inside curly braces you have to say the variable name. That's it. Now if I run it once again, and here you can see the channel name is webtech knowledge, and if I say here once again that print, if I say that f, and if I say value of the variable number is, if I say number, variable, okay, variable number is number. And now let's run it, and I'm going to remove it once again, and I'm going to run it once again, and here you can see value of the variable number is 10, and here you can see 10, right? So this is the way you can actually set variable. So you don't need any data type, you just have to mention the value. That's it. It will actually understand that the value is a string or integer. So we have multiple variables type. We have float, we have boolean, right? So all are same as some other programming language. Like if I say here float, let's say float. For the float, you just have to say the number variable, or let's say number 2, and here you just have to mention the float value, and let's say 20.5. Now let's say I want to print it. So print, I will say f, and I will say here float value is, I'm going to say here curly braces, and there is number 2. And now if I run it, here you can see the float value, and this is the way actually you can declare a variable. You don't need any variable type. That's it. And this is how actually you can print the value inside double quotation with curly braces, right? Using curly braces and f at first. Okay, you have to write f at first and then double quotation, and if you want to print something inside double quotation, you have to use curly braces. and then the variable name. Yeah, that's it. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about typecasting. So what is typecasting? So the meaning of typecasting is changing the type of a variable. So here I'm going to create a new file at first, and I'm going to save the file as typecasting.python, so py. And here I'm going to say, let's say I want to set variable of number is equal to, let's say 10, and I want to set let's say name, let's say string, that is webtech knowledge. Okay, now let's say I want to change the type of a variable. Here you can see the number variable is integer, right? If I want to know the type, so I can actually use a function, and that is called type. And here I'm going to say that the type of number. Okay, I want to know it. So what can I do? I need to actually print it. So I mean this variable. So let's say I want to execute it, and if I execute it, and here you can see its type is integer, right? So the type is integer. Now let's say I want to change the type, and here, okay, so what can I do? I can actually say here that, okay, number is equal to, I'll say that I want to actually make it floats, right? So I will have to say here float. So I'm going to say here float, and then first parenthesis, and here I'm going to change the variable. I mean I'm going to mention the variable here, right? And now the type will be float. So now if I say print then type, let's say I want to know the type of now the number. Okay, so if I execute it, and here you can see the first of all, okay, and the number was integer, right? That's why actually first print will show it integer, and then I have changed the type to float, and now you can see the type is float. And if I want to print the number, so I can say here number now, and let's run it once again, and here you can see 10.0, right? So the value was 10, but now it's showing 10.0 because of the float, and you can see the type also, right? So this is called typecasting. Okay, now let's say I want to mention here one more variable, and that is, let's say I'll say that student or not. So if the student, then it will actually show true, true. And I want to now change that. At first I'm going to print it, so let me just copy it. I want to actually print the type here, okay, and the type would be, let's say student. So if I run it, now you can see student type is boolean right now, right? True. So I want to change the type also, so I will say student is equal to str. For the string I will say a student, student, student. Now if I print the type, here you can see type, I'm going to say here student. Now see the type, and here you can see it's string, right? So yeah, that's it. So this is how actually typecasting work in Python. So you can actually change the type of your variable. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about how we can take user input in Python. Plus icon, I will click here, and I will go for the new file, and let's name it user input.py, Python extension. Here, to take input, user input, you have to say input, and then you need a prompt, okay, that let's say enter your name. All right, give a space, and now if I run it, you can see that enter your name, right? So I can actually say here, let's say Yamin, but it show nothing. Why? Because we haven't actually printed, right? And if we need to print it, we need to set it inside a variable. So we need a variable, right? So let's say I want to set the variable equal to name. Okay, I have to print it, so let's print it, the name. Execute it, enter your name, so let's say Yamin, and here you can see the output is Yamin. So this is how actually you can take input. But what about integer input? Say here that age is equal to, I'm going to say, okay, input, I'm going to say enter your age, okay, enter your age. All right, so here I want to print the ace, so print the ace. If I run it, enter your name, let's say Yamin, enter your age, let's say 27 or 28, let's say, and here you can see 28, but let's say I want to add plus 1. Okay, I mean it will be 29, so let's say here age is equal to age plus 1, if I say, and if I run it, here you can see the error, unexpected type and possible type. Okay, but let me just run it once again, and here at first I will say Yamin and age is, let's say, 28, and here you can see type error. So by default the type will be string. When you input something, it will be take as string, so you have to, you know, typecast it. In our previous video we already talked about typecasting, right? So what you have to do, you have to say that, okay, I need to typecast it, so I will say int, and then I have to say like this, and now you can do this. So now let's execute it and say Yamin, age is, let's say, 28, now it will be 29. Okay, so you have to typecast it. All right, so yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about arithmetic operator in Python. So all you know, arithmetic operators are plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus, and we have square, so we can actually write like this. And now let's say I want to comment out it, so I will say hash here, and now let's go for the first one. Let's say I have a number, and I will say that number is equal to 0, and I want to say number, it's not like this, so I will say number, number, number is equal to number plus 1. If I print the number, you can see the value will be 1. So this is the plus operator, arithmetic operator. Okay, and now let's go for the second one. Let's say negative value. Okay, plus, minus. Okay, so now let's go here and say number equal to number minus 1, and I'm going to print it in the value, let's say number. Okay, the number will be now 0. Here you can see 0. Why? Because the first of all number was 0, and then we have added it and then print it, so the value will be 1. Okay, value will be 1. And here when I say number equal to number minus 1, so the current value of the number variable is 1, so 1 minus 1 is equal to, I'll say value, not here really, I will go to the next line and I will say the output will be, value will be 0. Why? Because of 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Now let's go here and let's say that number is equal to, now I will say 10, and I will say that number is equal to number divided by 5, so the output will be 2 here, value will be 2. If I run it, now you can see 2. Okay, now let's say I will say number is equal to, let's say, 5. Now I will say number is equal to number into 5. If we print it, the value will be 25. Here you can see 25. Now let's go for the modulus. So I will say here number is equal to number divided by, not really, I will say modulus, right? So modulus, let's say I want to say here, let's say 7. Okay, so what will be the output? Now let's print it, say number. So here the value will be so 25 by 7, sorry, 7 by 25. Okay, so 25 will be divided by the 7 at first, so 3 into 7 is 21, so here the value will be 4. Okay, if I execute it now, you can see 4. Okay, now let's go for the square. Let's say the number is now 4, right? So I will say number is equal to number square, let's say 2. So the value will be 4 square, it means 16. So I want to print it. The number value will be now, the value will be 16. If I run it now, you can see the result is 16, right? Okay, so that's it. These are the arithmetic operators. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to talk about some built-in functions in Python. So we have a bunch of different built-in functions like absolute to find the absolute value. We have max function. Here we have to give 3 arguments. Okay, argument 1, argument 2, and argument 3. Let's say from all the 3, we it will actually give me the maximum value, and we have minimum also. Okay, minimum also, and we have power also. Okay, so now let's do it. So at first I'm going to select a variable. Let's say number is equal to, let's say 10, or let's say 11. Okay, 11, and now let's say I want to say here number 2 number 2 is equal to, let's say 13.5. So first of all, I'm going to say here that okay, I need a variable that is result, and I'm going to say here that okay, I want to find the round value of number 2. Okay, number 2, and I want to print the result. All right, execute it, and here you can see 14, because the 13.5, so the it's 13.5, so it will actually add plus 1 with it. So 13 plus 1 equal to 14. But let's say if it is 13.3, then it will be 13. Here you can see the result. Okay, you know already, right? These are basic. Okay, so yeah, now let's go for the we have another function. Okay, and that is let's say I want to find the result is equal to, let's say, power. Okay, and here I want to say that okay, I want to find the power of number, comma, that let's say square. Okay, power, I mean, so that it will actually return me 11 into 11 value. Okay, so if I say here 3, so it will actually give me 11 into 11 into 11 result. I mean the power, you know already, right? So here if I print it, the value will be, now let's go here and check, and here you can see, and if I go to the calculator, 11 into 11, and here you can see the result. So it's giving us the right output. All right, so it's working, right? So now let's say I want to find the result of, let's say, absolute value of, let's say, number 2. If I print it, result, what will happen? And here you can see 13.3. But if I say here minus 13.3, then it will actually return 13.3. Here you can see 13.3. All right, so yeah, that's it. Okay, I already talked about max and min, right? So let's say I want to say result is equal to max, and I'm going to say here number and number 2. So you can give here multiple arguments, no problem, and number 2. So the number 2 is float, right? So we will say that int number 2. All right, and now we will actually find the original value. So let's print it once again, result, and if I execute it now, it will actually show me 13. Yeah, because 13 is the maximum number. Okay, the number was float, that's why actually we have to typecast it into the, okay. So yeah, now let's go for the minimum also. So I will say here result, I'm going to say here I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it, and here you just have to mention min. So now what do you think, what will be the result? If I print it, I think the result will be the first one, print result, and here you can see 11, because the 11 is minimum one, and here you can see the value is 11. So yeah, these are built-in functions. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about a math class, and by using math class we can actually access some function and we can actually find some value, obviously valuable. Okay, so let's start it. And here I'm going to say that, okay, math class dot python, and here if you want to use or access math class function, you have to import it at first. So to import a class you have to say like this, import math. And now let's say I want to access the math class function. Let's say I want to find the value of pi, so I need to print it, right? So how to print it? And we just have to say here print, and here I have to say math dot pi. It's not pi. Okay, and here I'm going to remove it and now execute it, and here you can see the pi value 3.1416, so the 9 will be rounded. So one more thing, let's say now the pi value is let's say v1 or value 1 is equal to 3.1416 15, okay, let's say, and 9 or let's say 15. Okay, so if we use let's say a function, I want to say result variable, and here I'm going to say the function, so the function will be math dot, and we can actually access the function, and the function is cell. Okay, and here we just have to mention the variable or value. So the value is stored in a variable, we have mentioned the variable, and here I'm going to print the result. Now it will actually 1416, and here you can see 4. Okay, sorry, it will be 4. Why? Because the cell value, cell will actually increase the value. We have 3.1 here, so the cell will actually increase it by 1 by removing the dot, I mean the floating value. Okay, and if you want to find the floor value, so you can actually say result is equal to floor. Sorry, we have to use the math class, so math dot, then the function is floor. Okay, and we just have to mention the value, but here we just have to set the value 1 is equal to, once again, 3.1415. Why? Because, okay, let me just say it 14, because the value is now 4 here, right? Value equal to 4. Okay, so now it will be 3. If I run it here, you can see, okay, I have to print it, right? I haven't printed yet, so I will say result, and now if I execute it, now you can see 3. So let's say I want to set the value 1 is, let's say, 16. All right, so I want to set the result variable here once again, and I'm going to say math function dot square root, and here I'm going to say the value 1, and I'm going to print the value here, I mean the result here. If I execute it now, you can see the 4. Why? Because the square root of 16 equal to 4, right? Okay, so these are math functions, and we have a bunch of different math functions. Okay, so yeah, you can actually go through them. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about if and else statement in Python. So here I'm going to create a new file. Let's name it condition, what can I say, if else condition dot py for the Python. And here let's say I have a variable age, and the value is, let's say, 111. And now I will say if, okay, age is equal to, so this is the equal to sign, you have to give double equal for the equal value. So I will say here that if age is equal to 111, so here we just have to give a colon, that's it, and you have to go to the next line. And remember, you have enough space here. Okay, I mean if your cursor start from here, it means you have mistake something, and that is, let's say, a colon, so you have to remember it. So you have to start from here. Okay, so yeah, the age is equal to 111, then we will say print your age is so I can actually use here f, so that I can print the value, and then curly braces, and I want to print it age. Now let's say I want to execute it, and here you can see your age is 111, but let's say the age is 1 to 1, then what will happen? Let's run the code and you can see nothing. So we have to use here else statement, right? So go here and say else. You have to give colon, then enter. It will go to the next line, and remember you have enough space here, okay? And we'll say print your age is let's say I want to print the value here also, so I will say age, and here we have to use f, okay, f string. And here now you can see your age is 1 to 1. So now it is actually entering the else condition, right? Okay, so this is how you can actually write if and else. Now let's say I want to take input from the user, so remove it, and let's say I want to take input from the user, so I will remove it. And to take input, let's say I want to print the name, so I will say name is equal to, we need to say input, right? And then we have to give a prompt that enter your name colon, and let's say the name will be string, right? So I will say that if the name is equal to, let's say this one, I mean nothing, then what will happen? I will say that print, please enter your name, please enter your name. Otherwise, else colon, we will actually print the name. We'll say f string, and we'll say your name is colon, and then curly braces and the name. Now let's run the code. Right here something because of the input. So if I say nothing, here you can see it say please enter your name. Now if I run it once again, and if I say Yamin, and if I enter, now you can see your name is Yamin. So yeah, this is how you can actually do this. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In our previous video, we have talked about if and else, but let's say we want to talk about one more condition, and that is, let's say and or. How you can use and or in if and else. So here you can see that the name input is enter your name. So I will say are you a student? I will say here, are you student? Yes or no. I want to say here that please write yes or no. Okay, are you student? Please write yes or no. So user will type yes or no, right? So I will say if equal to y, then you are a student. Else we will say you are not student. You are not student. All right, now let's run it, and here you can see y and let's say I want to type here y, enter, and it say you are a student. And I'm going to use here one more if condition, that is else if. So if you want to write else if, you have to say elif, else if colon, then you will say print okay, else if you have to give here one more condition, right? So the name is equal to no, right? M, then you will say that you are not a student. You are not a student. And I want to actually remove the else statement from here. Now let's say I want to run it, and now I will say n, and here you can see you are not a student. But what about let me run it once again, and let's say now I want to write it small letter, and see there is nothing. So we have to use here or and condition. So to use or condition, you have to say or, you have to say like this, small letter y, because anyone can actually type it in a small letter, right? Y. So I will say that if you type in y in capital or small letter, that means you are a student. And I will say here or means either the left one or the right one. If anyone will be true, then you will enter here the condition. Okay, the condition it fulfill. So yeah, now I will say small n. Now let's run the code, and if I say here y small letter, and here you can see you are a student. So this is how actually you can use or. And if you want to use and, you just have to say here and, like this. That's it. Or and. Okay, I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to show you how you can create a calculator, basic calculator. Okay, so let's do it. And here I'm going to say calculator. Calculator. Okay, so calculator.py. Now let's say I want to take user input. So the user will say the user actually want to do multiplication or division or subtraction or addition. So I mean whatever the operation actually the user is like to do, and then we will actually take two input for the two digit. Okay, two different digit. Okay, so first of all I need input for the operation. I will say input, and I will say please let me know what you want to do, plus comma minus. I will say multiplication or division or modulus, whatever actually you want to do. So please write it. Let's say. Okay, all right. Now I need the number one for the input, and input, let's say enter a value. Okay, enter first value, let's say space, and I want to copy it, to paste it once again, and I want to say number 2. Enter second value, colon. Here I'm going to say a result variable number 1 plus number 2. But let's say user will input the for the subtraction. So what will happen? So we have to give here if else condition, right? Okay, now here I'm going to say if I want to say result if operation is equal to, I will mention plus here at first, then it will do something. Else if operation is equal to minus, it will do something. Go to the new line. Else if I'll say operation is equal to multiplication, we'll say here that okay, the result result will be number 1 plus number 2, and I want to print the result. And now I'm going to copy it, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, and paste it here. Now the result will be the second one is -1, right? And this is for the multiplication, so I have to give here star sign and then divided sign. All right, and I can say here modulus. Okay, so here you can see we have here some issue, right? This is because of when I say input, you can see the first value will be here as a string because I haven't actually typecast it, right? That is the reason. So here you can see there is no problem actually. Why? Because if I remove it, let me just remove it. Oops, what's the problem, bro? If I remove it, now you can see there is no problem. If I run the code, and here if I say that plus, you can see the first value, let's say 12, and the second value, let's say 13. It will show me 12 and 13. Why? Because it will actually concatenate both string, right? But it cannot actually subtract all the string. So that is the reason actually here we can find that okay, these are the problem actually. So here this is the reason actually why it's showing error here. And what we have to do, we have to typecast it at first, and here I just have to say int. Okay, or let's say the value can be divided. Okay, so I can actually use here float, right? Float. I can use here, oops, not really. Say here float. Inside I will say input. That's it. stay here like this and go here, close it and close it. Now it will remove everything. I mean the problem will be solved now, and just I have to do what? I have to remove it like this. Okay, now here you can see it's done. Okay, now let's say I want to run the code, and let's say now I want to do subtraction. So I will use minus, and then the first value, let's say 21, and the second value, let's say 23. So it will actually show me -2, right? Okay, because the second value is bigger than the first one, and I have actually subtract 21 from 20, I mean 23 from 21, right? This is why actually it's showing me -2. Okay, so now let's say I want to run it once again, and now let's say I want to do the division. So I will say the first one, let's say 12. Oh, not really, I want to at first give the sign, I mean, okay, and then in the first value, let's say 12, and the second value, let's say 2. So it will show me 6. But what will happen when I say the first value is 0? Let's say I want to show here the division sign, and I will say here that, okay, the first value is 0 and the second value is 12, and you can see the value is 0. And let's say I want to divide something by 0, then what will happen? I will say the first one is, let's say 12, and the second one is 0, and here you can see the error. So 0 division error. So this is actually mathematical error, right? You know, we cannot actually divide something by 0. So what will happen? So I have to give her some condition that at first I have to say if here actually I'm going to say that, okay, for the division, right, I will say here, and I will check one more if condition, if res value 2, right, sorry, number 2 variable. So I will say number 2 is equal to 0. Okay, then we will say print, I'll say please PLES, please you cannot, okay, I'll say you cannot give here 0. Okay, you can't give 0 as second value, and I will say input, enter your second, I will say second value once again. Okay, and I'm going to hold on here, and I'm going to take the input as number 2. All right, so number 2. Now number 2 will be the, and now we can actually do this. If I will say, oops, not like this, I will say number 2 still 0. Once again, you can't, okay, let me just copy it. I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it here, and I'll say else, I'll print the, I mean I will do the result. Okay, so here I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. All right, so okay, I have to typecast it, input, right? Yeah, so I have to say here float, and inside it I will say input. To remove it from here, and I'm going to close it here, and that's it. And I'm going to say once again number 2 here, and I'm going to say it like this. I think the problem is I have to give here 0.0 and then colon. All right, yeah, 0.0 because the value is float, right? So yeah, now you can see a number 2 float input. All right, and I'm checking once again, and yeah, now okay, first of all it will actually check the number is 0 or not. If not 0, then what will happen? Then actually I'm going to say else run here like this, and I'm going to actually give a tab here, okay, to create enough space as I mentioned earlier. Okay, so else it will actually do this. If number is 2, then we will actually say okay, then now go for the number 2. All right, All right, now I'll say number 2 is equal to 0. You cannot actually give second value 0. Then number 2 will actually give input here once again number 2, and result is equal to then number 1 divided by, okay, I have not here really. Let me just remove the fields from here. I'm going to actually remove all of them from here. I don't need it. Still I have to do this for the division, right? Okay, now I'll go here and I will check it. All right, now you can see if condition, else if then I will check if the number is 0, then I will say that okay, not really, I will say that num here number 2. Okay, if number 2 is equal to 0, then I will say you cannot actually give 0 as second value. Then I will take that number 2 and then I will say here divided by number 1 divided by number 2. Okay, then print the result. Okay, now let's say I want to run the code once again, and here I'm going to do the division, and I will say first value, let's say 12, and the second value, let's say 0. So what will happen? You cannot give 0 as second value. Enter your second value once again. So I will say 2. Now it will be 6. Yes, so here you can see our code is our calculator is running perfectly, right? Okay, now let's go for the second one. I will go here and I will run it, and I will say it for the modulus. Okay, and then I will say first value 12 and the second value, let's say 0 once again, and here you can see the error. So I have to do the same thing for the modulus also. So let me copy it once again, and I'm going to paste it here, and you just have to mention the modulus. All right, okay, and we just have to mention here modulus. That's it. Okay, now let's go and run it once again, and now let's say I want to do it for the modulus. So I will say modulus sign, and then first value, let's say 12, and the second value, let's say 0. Now it will show me that you cannot give 0 as second value. Now enter your second value once again. So if I say once again 0, it will actually show me error. So we have to run it for the multiple time. So we have to run it once again, and now let's say I want to say modulus, and into first value, let's say I will say 12, and the second value, let's say 0. So it will show me that you cannot give here 0 as second value. So you can actually enter your second value once again. So let's say I want to show here 5. I want to give input 5. So what will happen? It will actually show me 2. Why? Because 5 into 2 is 10, right? So 12 minus 10 is 2. So the result will be 2, right? Okay, so it's giving us a perfect value. So this is a basic calculator. So we have done a basic calculator by using Python. So I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. If this video is helpful for you, please make sure to give a like and subscribe the channel for more videos like this. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about a loop, while loop. So let's start, and I'm going to create a new file here, and I'm going to name it while loop.python. I want to show from 1 to 5, let's say. So how can I actually do this? Either I can print from 1 to 5, okay, individually, or I need a loop. So here I'm going to show you how you can do this using while loop. So to do this in while loop, you just have to say while, let's say a variable I smaller than 1 to 6, right? So I have to mention the I value also at first. So I'm going to say here I is equal to 1, and here I'm going to say colon. So what will happen? I will actually say print the I, okay, and I need to do increment, okay, because now I value is 1, so I have to increment the I value, right? And when I will actually increment the I value, it will be actually 2. Then it will check once again the condition that 2 is smaller than 6. Yes, then it will actually print the 2 also, and so on. So to increment in Python, what you have to do, you just have to you cannot actually give here I++. Why? Because Python don't believe that you can do one thing in multiple ways. So yeah, here that is the reason you have to use like this equal to 1. Why? Because now the I value will actually increment by 1. Okay, so now you can actually go to the next line and you can close it. So if I run the code, you can see it's showing from 1 to 5. All right, you can print anything here. So the while loop will actually execute like this. And first of all, you have to mention the variable and you have to set the value. I mean, from where actually the value will be started. So you have to set the value and then while loop, and then this is the condition. It will run while loop until the condition will fulfill. Okay, if the condition not fulfilled, then it will actually break the loop. So it will check I value is smaller than 6 or not. First of all, 1. So 1 is smaller than 6, right? So it will actually print it and then go to the next line. It will increment I value with 1. So currently I value is 1, so I plus 1 is equal to 2. So it will go to the condition once again and it will check that 2 is smaller than 6 or not. Yes, then it will actually enter the while loop and here it will print value 2. Okay, then first of all it will print 1, then it will print 2. Now the value is 2, so 2 plus 1 is 3. It will check 3 is smaller than 6. Yes, then it will actually print 3. And then now 3 plus 1 equal to 4. So it will actually say 4 is smaller than 6. The condition is true, so it will actually print 4 also. And then 4 plus 1 equal to 5. The condition is also true because 5 is smaller than 6. Then it will actually print 5. And then 5 plus 1 equal to 6. Now while value, now I value is 6, right? So 6 is smaller than 6. No, the condition is not true, so it will not enter here. It will go outside of the loop. So that's it. That is the reason actually it's showing from 1 to 5. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about format specifiers in Python. For this I'm going to create a new file. I will say format specifier.py. So what is format specifier? Actually we have a bunch of different format specifier like this and this. So actually I'm going to show you the example so that you can understand well. So let's say I want to say here number 1 is equal to, let's say 0.3495. Okay, and then number 2, let's say minus 0.768. Let's say, okay, just random number. Number 3 is equal to, let's say 12.98. And now let's say I want to print them. So print, I want to actually say f string, and here I'm going to say number 1 is, okay, I will say curly braces here, and here I'm going to mention the number 1. That's the number 1. And now let me just copy all of them. Copy, paste. Now here I'm going to say number 2, 3, 2. Here also 2, 3, and here is also 3. All right. If I run the code, you can see it's showing properly, right? So now let's talk about format specifiers. So here if you want to use format specifier, you have to give a colon after the variable, okay, the value actually you want to print. And then let's say I want to show here you can see after decimal point we have actually shown here 3 digit. So let's say I want to show here 1 digit, so I can actually mention here, okay, .1f. So it will actually show me only 3. If I run it once again, and here you can see only 3, and rest of them are same, right? Let's say if you write something in a doc file, you can actually see that we have 3 different column, right? The left align, right align, or center align, right? So let's say I want to show them in right align, so I can actually give here same gap for all of them. So I can actually say, okay, I want 10 space, and here also I want to say 10 colon 10. And if I run it, now you can see they are in right aligned, okay, by default it's right align. And let's say if you want to show them in a left align, so what you can do, you can actually say like this, okay. And if I run it now, you can see they are in left align. What about center align? So you just have to give here this sign. So from your keyboard, actually you have to press shift and 6 for this, okay. And now if I run it, now you can see they are center aligned, right? 10 is for actually it will actually create space. It will actually count all the character, I mean all the value here at first. So 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then if you think about it, then 7 8 9 10, okay. So it will actually create space otherwise if it is not find any value. And to show you the proof, I will actually add 0 at first. So every single time it will actually when I say 10, okay, so it will actually count all the value, I mean all the digit. And let's say here we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 digit, and then it will add 3 or 4 0 before it, okay, because by default the alignment is right aligned. So it will actually go to the right at first, and then in the left it will actually add 0 to actually complete the 10 digit, okay. If I run it now, you can see here you can see only 3 digit, right? 3 0 added, and they are in right align. So these are called actually format specifier. Here you can see we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, okay. So we have 7 digit, and then it actually complete 3 0 to actually complete the 10 digit, okay. Okay, now let's say you want to use comma. Let's say this is not decimal point, so I'm going to remove it. So I actually want to okay, so actually I want to show, let me remove the negative value also. So actually I want to show comma after 1000, okay. So how you can do this? You can actually use here comma. So it will actually use comma after 1000. If I run the code, and here you can see so okay, you can see 3000 6000 9000, right? All right, so these are specifier, format specifier. So I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about for loop. So in our while loop, actually we have print 1 to 6, right? Now let's say I want to print 1 to 6 in for loop. So I can say here for, and I need a variable, so let's say x, and I can actually say here in, then I will say the range, that actually from which range actually I'm going to print. So I actually want to print from 1 to, let's say 5, right? So 1 comma 6, I have to give here colon, and then let's go to the next line, and here I'm going to print the x. So I will say print then x. That's it. Now run the code, and here you can see it's showing 1 to 5. So it's super easy, right? If I open while loop, and here you can see we just have to write 2 lines of code, and here 4. So you can see that for loop is faster than while loop, right? In case of Python. So here we just have to mention the range, and now let's say want to show from 5 to 1. So actually I can use a function that is called reversed, and here I just have to mention the function name, the range, okay, and then I just have to close it. If I run it now, you can see from 5 to 1. So I want to show WebTech knowledge and every single character, so I can actually say it like this. I will say here WebTech knowledge, and now it will show every single character. If I use colon here and now run it, and here you can see every single character with space, right? WebTech knowledge. Let's say I want to show here channel underscore name, and here I'm going to say that actually I want to print here, let's say I want to say WebTech knowledge, or I can say here, let's say web comma tech comma knowledge. and I want to remove it, and now I want to say here channel name. Now run it, and here you can see web technologies. Okay, now let's go for the nested loop. So actually I'm going to create a new video for the nested loop, but here let me just deal with the continue and break. So we know we have a break statement and continue statement. Let's say I want to print from, I want to remove everything here, and let's say I want to print from range, let's say 1 to 11. Okay, so it will actually print from 1 to 10, right? If I run it here, you can see 1 to 10. Now let's say I don't want to print 3. Okay, so here I'm going to say if condition, if x is equal to 3, I will say continue. When I will say if x equal to 3, then continue, it will actually continue the loop, so it will not print 3 here. If I run it, you can see it's so 3 is not here, right? If I say here 6, so it will actually print 1 to 5, and it will not print 6, and then it will print rest of them. If I run it here, you can see the result 1 to 5, then 6 is not here, and then rest of them. Why? Because of the continue. So when I say continue, it will not go to the next line, it will go to the loop once again. Okay, that's it. Now let's say break. So the break will actually break the line. Okay, break the loop here. So from 1 to 5 it will actually show from 1 to 5, because 6 cannot be printed here because the print is after the break statement, right? So it will actually show from 1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5, and then it will break here, and it will not continue the loop, it will go outside the loop. If I run it, you can see 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, 1 to 5. So these are actually break and continue. So I hope you understand. So we'll talk about nested loop in our next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about nested loop. So what is nested loop? Nested loop is loop inside loop. Pasted here. So here you can see I have pasted some value. So I have red, big and tasty, and I want to show red apple, red banana, red cherry, then big apple, big banana, big cherry, tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. Okay, so how you can do this? We can actually print them, I mean we can actually show them using for loop, right? So if I say here for, and then I will say edge, I will say sorry x in, I will say edge. Okay, and if I say print x, then what will happen? Here you can see red, big and tasty. But let's say I want to show fruits. So what I have to do, I have to go to the new line, and once again I have to run here one more loop, and that is for the fruits, and I have to print the value. And now if I print, now you can see tasty apple, banana, cherry, right? So nested for loop means I need one more for loop inside loop, and here I want to actually print x comma let's say I want to say here y, right? Because I cannot give here same value. Okay, so first x and then y, and then here I want to actually show x comma y. So now let's run it, and now you can see red apple, red banana, red cherry at first, because it will actually go for the first one. So it will enter here, and it will print all of the item with the first one, red apple, red banana, red cherry, and then it will break the loop here, because the fruits is done. Now every fruit is printed, okay, along with the first value of x. So the first value is red, so now it will actually print all the value with red. Okay, so the red value will be same, because I'm not actually now outside of this for loop, because I haven't actually complete all the all the fruits, right? So every single time, every single fruit need to be actually printed, and then actually I can go out the this for loop inside inner for loop. Okay, can I do now? Now I have to go to the next statement. So for loop, and now the second value will be big, and it will enter the inner loop, and now it will once again print all the fruits with the x value. So the x value is currently big, right? After red, the x value is now big, so it will actually print big apple, big banana, big cherry, and then we will actually go out from the inner for loop, and then the x value will be tasty, and now it will enter here and print all the y value. So that is what now x value is tasty, right? and then it will print tasty apple, then tasty banana, then third time tasty cherry. So y value is complete. Now we will actually go out the for loop, and then we will actually enter here once again for loop, and we can see that okay, everything is printed because we haven't actually enough any text yet. So it will actually break the loop here, it will not continue the inner loop. Okay, that's it. And that is the reason actually here showing everything. Here you can see red apple, red banana, red cherry, then the next big apple, big banana, big cherry, then tasty apple, tasty banana, tasty cherry. So this is actually nested loop, loop inside loop. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about functions in Python. So I'm going to create a new file at first. I'm going to show you how you can actually define function. So to define any function in Python, you have to use def. So def for define, and then any function name. Let's say I want to do the addition, so I will say addition. All right, and here I have to give parenthesis, and here I have to just give colon. Okay, let me remove the space, and let's go to the next line, and here I'm going to print, I'll say f string. Okay, result is, here I'm going to print the result. So I need a variable, let's say val1 equal to, let's say 15, val2 is equal to, let's say 18. And now I want to show here result I will say result is equal to val1 plus val2. Here I want to print the result, so I will say result. The function is done. Now I have to access the function, so let's go to the new line, and here I just have to mention the function. Okay, and if I run it, now you can see result is 33. On the other hand, let's say I don't want to print here, so what can I do? I can actually remove it, and I want to print here, so I will say print addition. Now if I run it, none. Okay, I have to say here return value, return result. Now if I run it, now you can see 33. Okay, if you print outside, you have to return something, right? But let's see, if you want to print inside, you don't have to return, you don't have to return anything, and you don't have to print it. You just have to access the function name. And actually I'm going to give here one more example, and I will say def, let's say my function, and here I'm going to print it, so I will say I am from my function. All right, so now I want to define my function here, my function. So I am from my function, right? If you print inside the function, you don't need to print outside. Okay, you just have to mention the function. Okay, now let's take user value. So I will go here and I will say def result. Okay, the result, I want to actually make a function of result, and here actually I'm going to pass let's say val1 comma val2. Okay, 2 parameter, and inside it I'm going to receive val1 is equal to val1. Okay, and then val2 is equal to val2. Okay, and I want to show the result, so I will say output, or I can actually say here result, right? Result is equal to, and here I'm going to name it output. Okay, and result will be, let's say val1 plus val2, and val1 and val2. Now let's say I want to print the result here, print it. Okay, print, so I will say f string, I'll say the result is, here I'm going to say result, and I'll go outside, and let's say I want to mention the function, right? Output 4, and here we have to pass two parameter, and let's say 13 comma 56. Okay, if I execute it now, you can see the result is 69. Now let's say I don't want to use here I want output from the user. Okay, so what can I say? I will say, let's say val1 is equal to, I want to say output. Okay, so I want to set typecasting at first, and here I'm going to say input. So I want to take input from the user, so here I'm going to say prompt that give first value space, and let me just copy it once again. Here you can see I have typecast it. Okay, otherwise it would be string. So if you don't typecast it, you cannot actually do addition or something else. Here I'm going to say val2 and float, give me your second value. Okay, second value, and here actually I'm going to pass the value. So I will say val, actually want to mention the output, so I will say output, and here I'm going to say val1 comma val2. Okay, and I'll say here number 1 and number 2. Okay, and here I have to pass number 1 and number 2, so I will say number 1 comma number 2, and now I can actually access it, and here you can see the first value. So the first value, let's say 21, and the second value, let's say 24, let's say 34. Okay, so here you can see the result is 55. All right, so 4 plus 1 5, and 3 plus 2 5, so 55. Yes. All right, so that's it. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about exception. So remember one thing, that error and exception are not same. Okay, they are different. Why? Because error is kind of, error means you have something problem in your code. Okay, but exception is for, let's say you want to divide something by 0. So is it possible? No. So these are called exception. Okay, so exception and error are not same. Okay, so let's do some examples so that you can understand well. And if I create a new file, so I'll go to the file, and here I'm going to say exception handling. Okay, .python. Here let's say I want to write that, okay, I want some input, so I will say number 1 is equal to input. I want to use here a prompt. I will say enter first number. I want to copy it, go to the next line. Here I'm going to use number 2, and I will say here second number, and let's convert it into float. So now let's say I want to divide it, so I will say result is equal to, so result is equal to, I will say number 1 divided by number 2. If I okay, let me just print it at first. So result, now if I run the code, let's say I will give here 12, and then after that I will give here 0. So here you can see there is error, right? So we'll actually we can handle this, right? So that time actually we need exception handling. To handle the exception, actually we have to use try and except. Okay, so let's say I want to say here try. Okay, and not like this, I'm going to say here try, and let's say I want to remove the space, and here if I say accept except, okay, and if I say the error, and here you can see 0 division error, right? If I accept this problem, if I use here colon and then result, let me just cut it from here. Actually I want to paste it here, print. Okay, oh, and print also, so go here and print it. And now if it is find any error, so it will actually show that print, I will say that you cannot divide by 0. Okay, you can't divide by 0. So if I say here 12 and then 0, and here you can see you can divide by 0. So that is the reason actually why we use try catch or exception handling. Okay, so let's say I want to run it once again, and here let's say I want to say 12 divided by, let's say, any word, let's say Yamin. If I enter here, you can see value error, and here you can see couldn't convert string to float. So here you can see value error, so I can say here value error. I will go here and I'll say that one more exception, and then the error, and I will say print, and then I will say could not convert string to float Yamin. So if I say it like this, I have to use here double quotation, and what I have to do here, I have to say hash Yamin. Okay, let's do it. And if I run the code, 12 divided by Yamin, and here you can see couldn't convert string to float. So this is the reason actually we need exception. Okay, so we have actually default exception, and that is called exception. Okay, so this is the default one. Let's say you have mentioned all the error. Okay, you can probably find, but you forget to mention something, so the final rule will be executed. Okay, so here you can see something error happened. Okay, something error happened. Run the code, and let's say I will say, okay, let's say I want to comment out it. Okay, I want to run it once again. Let's run it, and now I will say 12 and let's say Yamin. Okay, and here you can see something error happened. Why? Because now it cannot actually understand that what is the error, so it will actually print the default error. Okay, and we have else statement, and let's say I don't want to print it at first. Everything will be fine, and if everything I mean if all the error actually not happening, so the final one will be executed, I mean else. So we'll actually print the result here, and let's say I want to show here 12 by, let's say, 3, and now you can see we can find the result, right? But let's say I will find here any error, let's say 12 minus 0. So here you can see you cannot divide by 0. At last we have finally. So that is like this, finally, and finally means everything will be executed, and finally must be executed. I mean it will actually go for the every single line. Okay, and if it is find any exception, then it will actually print statement, and after that it will actually execute the finally statement also. If anything happened, doesn't matter, finally statement will be executed. Okay, so here print, you can say that everything done successfully. Now if I run it, now let's say 12 by 0, and here you can see that you cannot actually divide by 0, so the exception is executed, right? So now we are in this exception, and it's actually print the output, but finally is also executed, right? Here you can see everything done successfully. So that is the reason actually you can use finally if you want to actually say something at the end of the code. So this is called exception handling in Python. So I hope you understand well. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can actually open a file and read the file in Python. So to open a file, you have to say with, then open, and you can see here we have file, right? So your file can be string, can take integer, right? Okay, so what I need here, the file name. So I have to give here file name, so double single quotation, and then I need to give here a file name. So actually I'm going to create a file name here. Let's say new, I want a file, so let's name it test.txt. so the file extension is txt. Now this is the file, so I will say if you are angry, it means you are hungry. So let's say I want to open the text file here. So my file is in the same directory, right? So we just have to mention the file name only. So test.txt. So now here I'm going to say as file colon, go to the next line, and I want to read the file, right? So I will say print, I will say here file dot read the function. Okay, that's it. Now let's run it, and here you can see the file. If you are angry, it means you are hungry, so go and eat food. Okay, so this is how actually you can open file and read the file. Okay, super easy, right? Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about how you can find date time in Python. So to find the date and time in Python, you have to import a module. So you just have to import date time module. dt is equal to, I will say date time, and from date time actually I want to know the date time, and obviously now. Why? Because I want to know the current date and time, and for now. Okay, so let's run it, and here nothing because I haven't actually printed. So let's print it dt, and now if I run it once again, and here you can see, if you look at the right corner, exact time, right? Okay, 2025 4 month, and the date is 21, I mean day is 21, and the time is exactly same. All right, now let's I want to know about the day. Here you can see Monday. So let's find out how you can actually find the day. So what do you have to do? So we have to say here that print dt dot strf time. Okay, and here we need to say, inside double quotation we need to say %a to know the day name. Okay, here you can see mon, and let's say I want to know the full name. So I have to give here capital A, and here you can see Monday. So this is how actually you can find the day also. So this is the day, right? So now I want to find out the date, only the date. Okay, so I will say here dt.strf time, and here I just have to only mention %d to know the date. Okay, and here you can see 21. And now let's say I want to individually find out print dt.month name. So I have to say like this, strf time, and here I just have to mention %m for the month. Here you can see it's 4 month, right? So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to show you how you can actually delete file and folder and any text file, any file, okay, in Python. So to delete anything, you have to import a module, and that is called OS. So you have to import OS first, and then OS dot, if you want to remove anything, you can actually say OS dot remove, and then the file name. So here I have created a file name. Here you can see test.txt. If I say test.txt, now if I run, here you can see there is no file because file already deleted, right? Here you can see no such a file. So this is how you can actually delete a file, text file. Now let's say I want to delete any Python file. So I will actually create a temporary file for the Python. So I will say temporary file dot python, and I want to actually delete the temporary file. So what I have to do, I just have to say the file name, and that is temporary file.py. If I run the code, and here you can see the file is deleted. Okay, now let's say I want to delete a directory or folder. So how can I delete this? Now let's say I want to create a directory, and I'm in the folder, so the new directory will be delete it. Okay, delete, delete underscore it, let's say. And I want to delete the folder, so what I have to do, I have to say os dot let me just remove this, or let's make it comment. And now I will say os dot remove so rmdir. What is this? Rm means remove, dir means directory. So this is the function I have to use, and then I have to mention the folder name, and that is delete it. All right, now if I execute it, now you can see access denied. Okay, so what can I do here? Let me change the directory mode. So I will say chmod. Okay, change mode, and here at first I'm going to mention that folder name, delete it, and then I can say 0O777. so now I've given, actually not 0O here. Okay, so now I have given here full permission. So now let's execute it, and now I want to make it comment. Now I want to remove it. Now let's execute it, and here you can see we can delete the folder, right? So what we have to do, we have to just say os.rmdir, remove directory. Okay, then directory name. So if we get any error, so we can actually change the mode at first of the folder, because the folder can be the read only, so we have to give the full permission. So to give full permission, you have to say os.change mode, chmod, change mode, and then the folder name inside double quotation, and then comma, and then 0O777 for the full permission. And after that, comment out it, or you can actually remove it. Then if you execute this, it will work. Okay, so I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about own module. So I will say own module dot python. If we actually want to use modules, we can actually have to say import then module name, right? Like math or something like this. So these are called module. But let's say I want to create my own module, so that is called so here you can see I have given here a name, own module, and the extension is .python, because for the Python I mean .py for the Python. So yeah, own module. Now here let's say I want to define a function, so I will say def, and then function name, let's say channel. Okay, and here I'm going to say the channel name, so print, I will say web tech knowledge, web tech knowledge, KNOWLEDGE. Okay, and now let's say I want to access the module from a different file. So let's say I want to create one more file. The file name will be apply module. Okay, apply module .py for the Python. Here we know if we want to use module, we have to say import and then the module name. So our module name is own module, and now I can say that own module dot the function name. Here can be function or anything, but let's say I want to actually start with function. So own module dot channel. Okay, and now let's say I want to execute it, and here you can see web tech knowledge. So now I can actually create a multiple function here. So let's say I want to define one more function, and let's say I will say subscribe. Okay, subscribe, and here I want to say print subscribe to web tech knowledge, to web tech knowledge, and here I'm going to access it. So I will say own module dot subscribe. If I run the code, and here you can see subscribe to web tech knowledge. We can actually define here list also. Now let's say I want to access here one more, I want to define here one more function. I will say show list. Okay, and the function here I'm going to declare friend list. So I will say friend friend list. Okay, and I will say here friend list will be, let's say, Yamin, comma Tanvir, comma Wasi, and here let's say I want to print it, print friend list, And now let's say I want to access it, so I will say own module dot show list, run the code, and here you can see we have the name, all the name, Yamin Tanvir Wasi. Now let's say I want to access list, okay, from outside of the function. So here let's say I want to say block list, and here I'm going to say some name, let's say Trump. I want to say Benjamin, okay, and I want to say Putin. Now let's say I want to access the block list from own module dot block list, and let's say I want to print it, so I will say a variable is equal to like this, and I want to print the variable a, and now execute it, and here you can see Trump, Benjamin, and some Putin, okay, Putlar. So yes, we have so this is how actually we can declare our own module, and we can actually use a module, okay, in different pace, just like other module we have to import it, okay. So we can actually import our module as in different name, let's say Dr. Yunus, okay, and now I actually have to access through Dr. Yunus without actually doing as you can see, I have import my module name as Dr. Yunus. Now I have to access through Dr. Yunus. I cannot use here own module, okay, because I have actually changed the name here as, okay. Now if I run it once again, and here you can see the same output, so you can actually change the name also like this, okay. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to talk about object oriented programming. From today actually we will learn object oriented programming. So far we have completed procedural programming. So let's say you want to work with a little function. Let's say you want to create a calculator, and you can actually make function and you can do it easily, and that's why actually it is called procedural programming. But let's say you want to do a big project. Let's say I want to say something about bike or car. I can individually say something about them. Those are actually little project. But let's say big project. Think about vehicle. Think about car, bike, truck, and every vehicle together. So that time actually you can understand that it is going to be a big project, right? For the big project we need object oriented programming. Why? And let's say you want to do a calculator, you can actually do a procedural programming. But what about a company calculation process, whole company calculation process? That time actually you need object oriented programming. And there are some reason actually why we need object oriented programming. Here you can see some differences. Feature, here you can see focus on functions. So our procedural programming actually focus on function, as I mentioned earlier, that let's say you want to do some calculation about addition, multiplication, subtraction. So you can actually create different functions, and then actually you can access the function and do some calculation, right? But what about object oriented programming? So object oriented programming focused on object. Let's say I want to know about the car, and then I want to know about the car speed, let's say company name, car engine details, and everything. So if you think about procedural programming, you have to individually create a different function for them, right? For the, because they have different data type. Let's say you want to know the speed, so speed has different data type. You want to know the car name, so name has different data type, like a string, right? So that time actually you need different function. But when you think about an object can hold all the data types, all the behaviors and everything together, okay? For the big project actually we need object oriented. So simple. If you need big project, go with object oriented programming. Here you can see some differences. If you need this, let me know in the comment section. For now actually I have mentioned that, okay, why we need procedural programming and why we need object oriented programming. I hope you understand. But if you have any problem, please let me know in the comment section so that I can make another video for you with some example, okay? But for now actually I will assume that you will understand, okay? Because it's super easy, right? If you need simple project, you need procedural programming. If you need big project, you need object oriented programming, because you need to know about all the things at a time. So you need object oriented programming, right? So in our next video we will talk about class and everything, okay? related to object oriented programming. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In our previous video we have talked about why we need object oriented programming. So object oriented programming based on four things: class, object, attribute, and method. So class is, if I think about human, so human can be a class, and let's say Yamin can be a object, and Tanvir a different object, and Wasi, let's say, another object. And what about attribute? Let's say Yamin has a name, Yamin, so it's an attribute. Yamin is a good boy, attribute. Yamin is, let's say, 28, attribute. And Tanvir also 29, let's say, attribute. So these are attribute. But let's say Tanvir eat rice, Yamin eat rice, so they can eat, right? They can swim, they can dance. So these are actually method. Okay, so if I think about a class, let me create a class at first. So I will create a file and I will say concept of OOP.python. Okay, and here let's say I want to mention a class, so I have to mention class like this. Let's say class, I want to mention the class name as human. To define a construct, you have to say like this: diff underscore underscore, then int for the initialize, and then one more slash slash. So before int you have to say 2/, and then after int you have to mention 2/, and this is called the default function or method for the human. And let's say if you don't generate it, Python is actually automatically will generate this constructor. Okay, so we need a constructor. I will explain everything in details, no problem. Just let me show you how you can actually write a class and its object, okay, and all the method and all the attribute, okay, according to its need. Now as I mentioned that I need some attributes, so I will say name and age. Okay, and here I will go and I will say name is equal to, I will say name, and age is not like this, age is equal to age. Okay, so here what you have to say, you have to mention the self at first and then dot, and here self at first then dot. It's acting like a function. Think about a function. Okay, if I say something like this, let's say diff, okay, function, so I will say, let's say int. If I say like this, then what will happen? Think about it. We have to pass the parameter, right, name and age, but as it is constructor, so what you have to do, we have to just use self, that's it, and then we have to access through self name. We can actually in the function, actually we can say name, like name is equal to name, right, and age is equal to age. We can actually do this in function, but for the constructor, if you can see that here we have self and we have to mention it, self dot name equal to name, self dot age equal to age. That's it. Now let's say I want to define another function. Let's say I want to introduce the name and age. Okay, so I will say introduce. So I will say diff introduce and the method self. Okay, no problem. And I will go to the next line and I will say self dot name. Okay, let me just print this. So I will say print, I will say name is okay, I have to say f string. Okay, f string. So I will say f string, name is, I will say self dot name, and I will say, and age is, I will say self dot age. Now let's say I want to create an object, so I have to say that, okay, I want to know Yamin is equal to, okay, a body, or I can say here, let's say body1, body1, okay, is equal to, let's say I will say human, and here in the constructor you can see I have two variable, right, name and age, two parameters. So I have to say name at first. I will say name, let's say Yamin, and comma, and I will say 28, and let's say body2 equal to human, and here let's say I want to say Tanvir, comma 29. Okay, I forgot to give here I. Okay, it should be init. Okay, I forgot to give here I, so it's not int, it's init. Okay, initialization of a constructor. Okay, so this is initialization, so it will be init. Okay, And now here you can see I have passed two parameter, and that is, here you can see suggestion, name is Yamin Tanvir. Okay, now let's say you can add multiple object. Okay, so this body one is an object, individual object, and body two is an individual object. And here now let's say I want to print, I don't need to print, actually I need to just say that body dot I want to introduce, because in introduce actually I have print the name, right? If I execute it now, you can see name is Yamin and age is 28. And if I say body 2, then it will show me Tanvir and 29. Okay, so this is how you can actually do this. So the first one is class. You have to declare class name like this, and then you have to define a function, and that is actually called constructor. Okay, so you have to initialize it. So you have to use double slash, not slash, actually you have to use double underscore, then init. Okay, init, init for the initialization, and then once again double underscore, and then parentheses, and then every single time you will actually find self here. And then if you want to pass, I mean how many parameter, okay, you want to pass, you can actually pass here. So I have I need actually name and age, that's why actually I have pass here 2 parameter. Okay, and then I have to access through I mean if you do some other coding, let's say C++ or something like this, you will find this dot name. Okay, this dot age. So here in Python we have self, so self dot name equal to name, the parameter we are getting the name, and self dot age is equal to age. So this is the variable for this constructor. Okay, so here we have defined another function, and this is not a constructor, and here actually we print the function, I mean value, the self name and self age, and then we have create object. Okay, you can create multiple object. So object is basically nothing but a class instance. Okay, now body 1 is an object and 2 is another object. And how to declare object, you have to mention the class name, and we have a constructor, right? So we have to pass the parameter, because constructor actually take 2 parameter, name and age, so we have to pass them. And then let's say I want to print body to name and age, so I can actually print through the function, and I can actually print through the body 1 dot introduce. If I say like this, we can actually print everything. Okay, Tanvir Yamin. Okay, so I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about constructor. So let me create a file first. We know about class and object, right? So let's say I want to define a class. Let's say student, and here I want to create object for the class. So I will say Yamin student. Okay, so I will say here student like this. All right, so we have so now let's talk about constructor. So when you define an object, I mean when you create an object, automatically a constructor will generate, okay, and call. So what is constructor? So it's a special method, it's kind of function, but in class we know all the function are called method, right? So when you actually create an object, the method will automatically call. So you have to initialize it, otherwise Python will automatically initialize it. So how to initialize the constructor? You have to say define, and then underscore, double underscore, then init, then double underscore, and then like this. And we have 2 types of constructor. So one is like this, and another one is parameterized. Let's say here I want to say self dot name. So I have to give here value, let's say Yamin, and self dot email. Let's say I want to say Yamin at gmail.com. So here let's say I want to say here student 1. Okay, so now if I say print, I will say student 1 dot the name, and print once again. I'll say student 1 dot email. If I run the code, here you can see Yamin and Yamin at gmail.com. So this is not parameterized. Okay, so this is the default one, and we have another constructor that is parameterized. Let's say I want to say here underscore init underscore, okay, like this. And here I want to say parameterized, so I have to give here comma, and it's a name and email, and I want to comment out it, so I will say, and now let's go here, and I'm going to say self dot name is equal to name, and self dot email, right? Email is equal to email. So now let's go for the parameterized one. So we have to give here value, okay, we have to pass two parameter, name and email. So here I have to say, okay, let's say Tanvir, comma, email is tanvir@gmail.com. and if I run it now, you can see, so the first one is the default one and the second one is the parameterized one. Okay, so this is constructor. This is how actually you have to write constructor. You have to give double underscore at first, and then init, then 1 second double underscore, then self. In other programming language like C++, we have to mention here this, right? This dot name, this dot email. But in Python, we have to mention here self. That's it. So I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about inheritance. In our last video, actually, we have talked about class and object, right? So in this video, we are going to talk about inheritance. So what is inheritance? If you think about inheritance, think about your parent. You haven't actually buy any car or house, but you can use your parent car, right? This is called actually inheritance. You have nothing, but you can actually use it. So I will actually clear using example. So let me just create a new file. I will say inheritance.py. Now let's say I want to define a class. So class, let's say parent, okay, parents, and here let's say my parent has car, okay, car is equal to, let's say, any car name, and let's say your parents have house, let's say home, okay, just for an example. So you can actually inherit car. Now let's say you have salary, okay, let's say you have salary 20,000, but you haven't actually buy car and house yet. So you can actually use your parent car and house, and that is the reason actually we need inheritance. So now you can actually inherit your parents. So what you have to do, you just have to mention like this. Now actually you can inherit their car and house. So now let's say I want to create an object, me is equal to let's say Yamin is equal to you, okay, and Yamin can actually access car. Now what I have to say here, I have to say print Yamin now can access car, okay. Now you can see Yamin can access car, but I mean if you don't inherit it, if I run it, you can see there is error. So to access your parent, you have to inherit from them, right? So this is the actually inheritance. Let me explain once again. Your parents have car and house, but you don't have. How you can access them? Through inheritance. No one actually can access them. I cannot access Yamin's parents car and house, right? But Yamin can, because it's Yamin's parents. So yeah, Yamin can do this. This is how inheritance work. I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about encapsulation in Python. So let's create at first file. I will say encapsulation.python. And here, let's say I want to define a class. Let's say payment. Define a function, okay, constructor, and there is init. And here I'm going to say self dot final price is equal to price into, let's say I want to multiply the price with 0.05, okay, for the text, let's say. and here I want to pass the parameter price so that I can actually multiply it. Okay, and now let's say I want to create object, so I'll go here and let's say I want to buy a pencil, or let's say pen. Okay, I will say payment, and here I have to say, let's say $5. Okay, 5 USD. Okay, and now let's say I want to print the pen dot final price. Now I will say here, and here you can see. Okay, so I have to say here price plus. Okay, price plus. All right, now if I run it, and here you can see 5.25. so now let's say I want to say here pen dot final price is equal to 0. Then what will happen? The result is 0. Why? Because I've said here the value of the variable value is 0, right? So 0 plus 0 into something is 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. So the result is 0. So I can actually access the variable, right? I can change the variable value. But what about the variable is private, encapsulated? That time actually I cannot change the value. So to make private, so this is the normal variable, right? Final price. To make it protected, you have to give here 1 underscore, and to make it private, you have to give here 2 underscore. Now if I run it, now you can see attribute error. So payment object has no attribute final price. So actually I cannot access it, right? So if I say here pen dot final, okay, I have to give here final price, price is equal to 0. If I say like this, I cannot actually access it. Okay, this is because of the encapsulation for the private. Okay, so this is why actually private is needed. And let's say I want to say here like this to check, still I cannot actually access it. So but let's say I need to access it, right? I need to know the value. So how can actually I know the value? Because now the variable is private, so I cannot actually get the value, right? So to get the value, I need a function. Okay, let's say I don't want to access the variable from the outside, I mean through the object, but I want to know the price. So I can define a variable, function. Let's say I want to know the value, or I can know the price. Okay, so price here, and let's go here, and I want to say print, I want to say self, or I can actually return it, right? Return underscore final price. I have to give here self. Okay, self dot. So now I can actually access through the function. Okay, and that is let's say pen dot price. And now if I execute it, now you can see I know the final price, right? So through the encapsulation, actually you cannot access the variable directly, but you can actually access the variable through any function or method. But we'll say it method, okay, because it's under class. So all the function under class, we'll call them method. Okay, methods. So here you can see I can access, but I cannot actually change the final price. Okay, from here I cannot actually change the final price like this, pen dot underscore final price, and like this I cannot change. Here you can see I cannot change it. All right, so yeah, that's it. So that's why actually we need encapsulation. I hope you understand. It's very simple, right? Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about abstract class in Python. So what is abstract class and why we need actually abstract class? Abstract class kind of it has to be inherited. If I go here, you can see cannot be instantiated. Okay, you cannot create an object of an abstract class. It means we cannot actually create the abstract class object like other class. Can contain abstract method and method without implementation, as I mentioned. can have concrete methods, I mean method of full implementation, okay, used for inheritance. So how to use abstract class in Python? At first actually you have to import a module. So to do this, you have to say from, you have to write ABC, you have to say import ABC, oops, not like this, ABC comma abstract method, and that's it. Now you can actually declare any class. Now let's say I want to declare abstract class, so I will say here class, let's say I want to do calculations, so I will say calculator, okay. And here let's say I want to define function, some function, so for the addition I will say add, and here we just have to say pass. Why pass? Because pass is kind of placeholder. If you think about you know, a login form, if I go to the browser, let me show you. If I go for the incognito window, so if I go to the incognito window, you can see, if I go to the facebook.com, and here you can see email address and phone number kind of you know, placeholder, right? If I say something here, you can see the text gone, email address or phone number. So here we have to use like this, pass. It has no value, I mean null, so you just have to, you know, use it. It's a process actually. So pass, and so we have just defined the class, right? For the subtraction we can say sub, and then we can go to the new line and say pass. All right, so yeah, now that's it. Now let's go for the child class. So we have to you know, we, as I mentioned earlier, that all the methods should be incomplete, right, without implementation. Now we have to implement through a child class, okay. So here let's say I want to say calculator, so I want to actually mention here a child class. Let's say one thing I have to mention here, ABC, okay. So class, now let's say I want to say, okay, I want a basic calculator, so I will say basic under calculator, and here I want to mention the parent class calculator, okay. And now I have to implement all of them, all the methods. So I will say add, and here I need to pass some variable, let's say. So here I need to say, let's say a b, okay. Here I need to say, let's say 2 parameter, okay, a b, because I want to do addition and subtraction, so I need 2 values. I need to say a b, all right. And here I want to say that, okay, print, I want to print here a plus b, okay, a plus b. That's it. Now let's go here, and I will say def the second method, and that is, let's say a b. So I will say print a minus b. Now I want to create instance or object, whatever you say, and let's say I want to use calculator. So actually I cannot create a calculator object, okay. So what I have to do, I have to create basic calculator object. So I will say, let's say result, SULT, result is equal to, I want to say basic calculator, and here you can say that, okay, I want to say result dot add, and here let's say I want to pass 2 parameter, one is 2 and another one is 3, okay. So 2 plus 3 will be 5, so I will say print I don't need to actually print it, right? So we have actually print here. So if I execute it, now you can see 5, and now let's say I want to say 12, it will be 15, okay. Now let's go for the subtraction. So I will say result dot sub, so I will say 12 minus 3, so I will say 12 comma 3, and if I execute it, now you can see 12 minus 3 is 9. All right, so I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Back to another video. In this video I'm going to talk about static methods in Python. We have different kind of methods, so why we need static? So let me create at first the file static method dot py, and here let's say I want to create a class. So I will say class, I will say math. All right, math. Let's say I want to define init, and here I want to pass a number, so I will say self number. Okay, so I can say here self dot, let's say I want to say here num is equal to num. And now let's say I want to create one more diff, I want to define one more function, let's say add. And here you can see every single time we have to use self, right? And now let's say I want to add here one more number, so I can say here self, okay, I have to give here comma, right? Self dot num, set the variable equal to num plus n. Okay, I have to say here self dot num plus n. And now let's say I want to define static method. So don't worry, I'm going to explain you why I need static method. So here we need to say here at static method. And now let's say I want to say here def, I'll say def, let's say I want to say add num. Okay, I want to pass here two arguments, let's say a and b, and here I want to mention that return a plus b. All right, and now let's go. And I want to create math class, so I will say math or I will say m is equal to math. Okay, I have to say here capital M. Okay, now let's say I want to get the number, so I will say print, I'll say m dot num. If I run it, you can see 5, no problem. Okay, now let's say I want to say here m dot add, right? I want to add here 6, and now I want to print it, so I will say print m dot num. Now let's run it. Now it will be 6 plus 5 is equal to 11, right? But here you can see, can I run through the class? Not really, right? Can I run through the class? Not really. So if I say here, let me just say here m here. Okay, but let's go for the add num. Okay, and I will say that, okay, I'll say print, I will say math dot add num, and here let's say I want to say 7, 8, and here you can see 8 plus 7 is 15. So I can actually access through the class, right? So this is the static method. And one more thing, you don't have to use here self. And here if I remove self, you can see we will get error, right? If I remove let's say everything from here, still you will find error, right? So you have to use self. But when you will use static method, you don't have to use here self, and you can actually access the function through class, right, itself. You don't need to create object for it. You can actually access through class name. Here you can see the result. If I run it once again, and here you can see 15, right? We can actually access through class. Now let's say I want to add access through math class, and if I run it, here you can see error, right? Okay, so you cannot actually access through class, right? So if you want to access any method through the class, or if you don't want to use self, that time actually you have to use static method. Okay, I hope you understand. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So this will be our last video for this tutorial series Python, okay, for the beginners. So here in this video I'm going to show you how you can actually create merge two PDF, okay, two single PDF, and create a new one. Here you can see I have two PDF here. So actually I want to merge them, and I want to make a new PDF, okay, by merging them. Okay, so let me just import them here in the project. So here you can see I have imported them. I have added them in the project, right? If I go here, you can see PDF1 and PDF2. So at first I have to import a module. Okay, so for this actually I'm going to create a new file. I will say merge, okay, merge pdf.py. So first of all I have to open the terminal, so I will right click on it and I will say open in terminal. So this is the terminal. We have to import a module in our code. So to do this, we have to go to the browser and we have to search for PyPDF2. And here the first link, go here and you just have to install it. Okay, so copy it and go to the terminal and paste it here, press enter, and it will actually start installing. So successfully installed, right? Now we have to import the module. So I will say from PyPDF. Okay, I have to give here capital letters. So PyPDF2 import PDF merger. PDF merger. Okay, I'll make a list. So I will say my list is equal to, oops, not like this here. So the I want to actually say here, I want to mention here two PDF, okay, because I want to merge them, right? PDF1 and PDF2. So the first one will be PDF1 dot PDF, right? And the second one is PDF2 dot PDF. Okay, I can say here PDF all, right? PDF all. Let's go to the new line and I will say here our merger is equal to PDF merger. Okay, like this. And now we need to run a for loop and we need a variable, right? So I will say new PDF equal, sorry, in, then I have to say PDF all, right? Colon, I'll say here our merger dot append. Here I have to mention the new PDF, okay, a variable. Then I have to say our merger dot write. So I want to convert them. So here you can see our merger dot append. So now PDF, these both PDF1 and PDF2 will be actually appended, right? Will be merged. And now I want to save as new name. So I will say here new, or what can I say, converted PDF. Let's say converted or merged PDF. Okay, merged PDF underscore PDF. Okay, dot PDF. Now here I have to say our, oops, not like this. Now here I have to say our merger dot close. If I run the code, now you can see our merge PDF dot PDF. If I open it on Google Chrome, let's say, and here you can see we have added them, right? We have two different PDF and we have added them, merged them, okay, and create a new PDF. So this is the way actually you can merge, PDF, multiple PDF in a single PDF. Okay, so this is the last video for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. See you later. Goodbye.